All right, wife has approved, and Heating and Air friend Tony has approved of the little mechanical room area here and washer and dryer. The only thing I'm going to do different from what's laid out here is bring this back to right up against the exterior wall. That way I can insulate the exterior and then have this wall as to bring some plumbing up, and so that the plumbing isn't going up and out the along the exterior wall there. But that way it'll give room to put a broom and maybe a vacuum cleaner or whatever in front of the washer and dryer. So let's get going. Hopefully this heater behind me isn't too loud. It's pretty darn chilly in here this morning, so. Well, let's take a look at what the pile of 2x4s added up to. I may have added a couple more 2x4s to that pile to build this, but that's what she turned out to look like. It's going to be the little mechanical room, furnace in here, probably the electric panel here. The tankless hot water here, stacked washer and dryer. I framed it to put a 24-inch door here. Have to put a louvered door there. Here I can't put a 24-inch door because a washer and dryer is about 27 inches, so I framed it 30 inches flush actually, and so I'm going to put a barn door right here. But yeah, it turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. And it tied it in to the plant shelf there, so actually flows pretty well in my opinion. But got all my plumbing supplies come in. Should have about everything. Maybe a couple things missing, I don't know. But yeah, plumber's coming today, but until he gets here, I'm gonna lay out a chalk line the kitchen here just to get a good visual. So this will be countertop here, and then a little peninsula, and then this will be some cabinet and countertop here. Don't think we're going to do uppers, so we'll see. I think we're just going to build shelves, so just going to have lower cabinets, but I think the fridge is going to go there. Dishwasher here, sink, little 18-inch cabinet, and then turn. So let's get that laid out, and I don't know that my plumber will want to be on film much, so probably won't get much of that. Maybe just do a little update video at the end of the day. So alrighty. Well, no heater noise. It's got a mind of its own. It likes to run whenever it wants to run, so yeah. So we'll let it stay off for a while, kick it back on. I didn't wear a pocketed shirt again. Doggone it. Not up here anyway, but I do have a pocket on my jacket, so better than nothing. I don't really like wearing a tool pouch either. So, make fun of me all you want for that too, I guess. Well, I said I was going to try to not jump around. I wanted to do the other bedroom first, but I know I'm going to bring a home run to here, a 12-3 home run, and feed that bedroom and this living room off of it. So I want to go ahead and run this, feed this outlet over here from this outlet, and get this three-way in too. Just so this corner here is done. That's what I'm telling myself anyway. We'll just throw one staple in it for now. Where were we? Staple in this. I got a phone call there to go eat some breakfast. All right, now we'll run a 3-wire over there. I think I'm gonna jump over to grab this porch light, the kitchen light. I will try to feed from over there. We'll see. It is hard to keep these batteries charged on the microphone, the GoPro, everything with this cold. But so no microphone, but sound should be okay. But got some of this wired in. Just a quick update. Gonna run one up for a porch, and then I'll run a rewire over to there. I got my first home run in. That's what I would call the main feed to the panel box. I don't know if that's what they still call it, but back in the day I called them home runs. So, but all right, I'll update you again here shortly. All right, we got a home run over here with this outlet. I'm just gonna feed the pendant lights off of it too. I gotta go get some 12-3. Yeah, so run a home run to here and down to here. Same with here. Back up a little. I'm gonna feed this little sink light off of the disposal outlet. Home run to here for this outlet, and then feeding the stove will be another circuit. This is its own circuit, carrying the load for these 3 outlets. Yeah, and then got a porch, switch leg, got a feed for the outside outlet. I've got the 3-way wire in. It just needs a feed yet, but I'm waiting to see how I feed this. And I'll just run a jumper over here. I'm going to run the refrigerator outlet real quick. I bought out of Staples, and I need the 12-3 wire. So I'm not sure. I'm sure I'll find some other stuff to do. I still have a couple hours yet, but yeah, that's your quick update. Something a little different here. Went and got a heater here. Runs off of propane. I stubbed it out the line that I'm running the AC line out of. Perfect hole for it. But I got this tank here. It was actually left here at this house, back in this corner actually. It sat, and right outside here. But there wasn't a door there back then. But anyway, still has quite a bit of propane in it, so gonna use it up. And then there's another tank that was out there that has a little bit in it. It's still in my barn. And then if I have to, I'll get into my main supply here, but I'd rather not. So, but this should help. And the diesel torpedo heater is very costly, very loud, and very fumy. So this should be a lot better. So it's supposed to warm up this coming week too, so that'll help too. But anyway, let's get at it. Well, we'll start with this switch here. I got this. This is really long, but we'll cut it down some. Throw the little scrap there. Then I got my razor knife here, utility knife. Do a little score. Don't want to dig too deep and get into the wires. Just basically just scoring it until right at the end. I'll make sure I cut all the way through, and then peel it back. See how it didn't even get into the paper there. Just peel that back. Cut that off. We'll expose all of our wires here. Do the same here, like I said, just scoring it till the end. Cut it deep. we go. Same thing. Now tie our neutrals or grounds together. I just like to go in a specific order. You don't have to. I just like to. But I always do the grounds first. Save one of these, and we'll put a pigtail on. Got this little wire here. Get them all lined up. Yeah. Of course, this one don't want to work for me. My fingers ain't working this morning. Give it a little tug, give that a little tug, and shove it in there. Then we're going to tie our neutrals together. And this is not a how-to, this is just how I do. We don't need a pigtail on the neutral because it's just going straight through. Don't need a neutral for a switch here, but we need it for the light and the fan up in the ceiling there. And then we want this black wire to go up to the fan and feed the fan all the time, so it has power all the time. And then we want a pigtail for the switch for the light, so we'll run put a switch here. Like I said, hot's coming in, hot's going out up to the fan. I need a hot to power this switch. Give it a tug, shove it in the box there. And then that's my hot, that's my switch leg for my light. And then it's ready to go for drywall. Now we'll do that about 50 more times. Different configurations though, so you know, just an outlet. It'll come through, three pigtails, move on. These ones, for example, get a little more complicated. So I'll show you when I do this one, but I'm not going to show every outlet because it is literally just going to be like a rinse and repeat. So, but yeah. I'll show you this one because this is just a four-way, but yeah. This is when you're doing this too, you're kind of making sure that you ran your home run to it, that it's got a home run to the room. You know, you're kind of double checking yourself as you're tying all these wires together, so it's a good thing to do. You know, just to make sure before you hang the drywall and stuff. So well, here's an example of got the home run coming in. So I know that this room is being fed from the breaker box. So this is a perfect example of that. And there you have it. Well, I'm gonna put it on a time lapse here. I laid out, I know I need 3 wire nuts for all the outlets, so just gonna do a quick run around here in the living room. These are pretty simple, but we'll put that on time lapse. This is that 4-way switch. It's very simple because it's just travelers coming through there. So I got to tie the grounds together, and I got to tie everything together, but I got to make pigtails. But that's basically all you're doing in this one is making 4 pigtails. Let's see. I am doing feeding the light from the other end. Yeah. So I will use red and white as my travelers. And I'll just tie the black wire together, and that'll be my common. When I get the other 2 boxes wired, I'll come back and show you what I mean by this common and the travelers. So those didn't get wire nutted together because that's just going to pass through, hook to the switch, pass through, hook to the switch. All right, I've got the switch leg for the light and then a disposal. The light will be protected by this GFI here. So, and then the disposal is just a switch, and then I'll only switch the top half of the outlet. The bottom part of the outlet will be hot all the time for the dishwasher coming out to here. So here we go. Got them all shoved in the box, and move on to the next. Gonna put the range hood This is 66 inches. I'm going to just go ahead and put it around the middle of the box because I'm getting different responses on when I'm looking stuff up of where it should be. I'm just going to shove the wires in the box. I'm not going to tie them together. That way later on, if I need to move it up or down, the wires aren't stripped back or anything. I guess that's the only thing I can kind of come up with because I don't know exactly where to put it until I get everything in and decide where I want it, I guess. All right, before I shove these in the box here, let me explain a little bit of what I was doing on this one. Obviously all the grounds together, all the neutrals together, but I've got a feed coming in and a feed going out, and then I need hot wires here for, need a hot for the porch light, and I need a hot for the three-way switch for the kitchen. Well, my switch leg for the kitchen is also here. That's this wire. I'm going to use the black wire for the three-way that's coming over to here. Let's see, kitchen here. So the black wire at this end will go to the common on the three-way switch, and then the other two will be travelers. So I call this a dead end three-way. That's what this one's going to end up being too. There's no other wires coming out of this box because it's not fed at this end of the switch, and it's not switch legged at the end of the switch. So in this instance, it's fed from over here. It's getting sent over there, and it's also switch legged from this box. Hopefully that made sort of sense. Kind of doubt it. Didn't make sense to me for a long time. But that box actually comes over to here too, or that wire I should say, and is the three-way here for this light. So the one I'm showing you right now is for this light. So You'll be able to come in the back door and have a, be able to turn a light on. You'll be able to come out of this bedroom and be able to turn the kitchen light on. And also from this bedroom, the living room light. So hopefully that made sense. All right, this one is pretty complicated, so I'm gonna walk you through it, but again, this is not a how-to, this is a how I'm doing it, but I don't know, maybe this will interest you, maybe not. Just stripping the wires just like any other time, but there's a lot more complicated instances than this. This is just a tiny house with just a few switches here and there. You get into a big mansion or something and you're switching from all kinds of places, that's one thing, but for here this is probably the most complicated connections here, so that's why I figured I'd bring you along. But while I'm stripping these, I don't know, I don't really talk about myself too much, if anybody's interested at all. I live right next door, basically, and so this is basically this parcel joins my property. And so it's very convenient for me to work on back here, but I work a full-time job. I just do this in my spare time. When I say full-time, it's 48 hours, sometimes 52 hours. I try to not do much more than that. Really not a lot much more. Well, that's a mouthful. Not a whole lot more overtime available right now at the moment anyway. But even if it was, I wouldn't work much more because I really want to be out here working on this. So, but I work at a steel mill in Cleveland, and been there for about 2.5 years now. But I did work at a coal-fired power plant for almost 15 years. And of course, maybe maybe not, those aren't hardly around anymore. I was one of the ones that it got shut down. But I started there in 2008, thinking that I was going to retire from there, and I did not. So got quite a few years to work yet, but I do have some plans and ideas to retire sooner than later. Retirement can be defined so many different ways, so my definition, I'm sure, is not like what most people define as retirement. So, but I have 2 daughters. They are 25 and 23. They don't live with me. They're moved out on their own. We get along really, really good though. Love them to death. And we FaceTime or text or call or something pretty much every day. So, but no grandkids. Just a spoiled dog and a spoiled cat right now. So, just had to put one of our cats down the day after Christmas. So, but yeah, I don't know. If you guys feel like you want to know a little more about me, leave a comment. I'll don't want to get too personal, but that's pretty much the gist of my life. I just go to work, come here and work, spend time with my wife, and go back to work. But I do this so that I don't have to do that forever. But enough jabbering about me. Let's get back to showing you what I'm doing here. So getting all my neutrals together right now. That was just the grounds that I just did. But let's see, that's the three-way, so the white on that one will not be a neutral, but the white from this going to this fan and light is a neutral, so I will need that white. And then so all these whites are my neutrals. Just cramming them in there, but in a relatively organized manner. Let's see, get all of them stripped back. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, oh, you know, just it's got to be exactly this much stripped, and you know, I'm not trying to teach that by any stretch. So, but try to get them stripped about the same, get them lined up with each other, get that on there. I like to just get it on there really tight till just when it starts to twist, but I don't like twisting them too much, because if you ever have to go back in here and they're all tied, twisted all in a knot, oh, that's so frustrating. So that's that's holding real good. But now this is the switch leg for the porch light. So when you walk in the door, you're not gonna want to turn the porch light on. You're gonna want to, hopefully the porch light's already on if it's dark, but you're gonna want to turn the light on. So that's the switch we're gonna want to have closest to the door. So this switch leg needs to go on this side. This is the three-way. I'm going to use red and white as my travelers. I'm going to use this black for the three-way as a common. It's also going to be my hot wire. So I need to tie, no, let's see, the switch leg for the light is what I should hook to the common of the three-way. So the red is what I'm going to use up in the ceiling box of the fan for the switch leg. So that's going to go to my light in the living room. This is going to go to the common of the three-way. Just going to tie these two together, and these two only right now. Try to make sense of it here in a minute. Well, not a big fan of this wire nut, but if it holds good, yep, it's tying real good together. Okay. So now we've got a feed wire coming in and a feed wire going out. So these are hot wires. And then we need a hot going to the fan to have the fan on all the time. And then this is the switch leg for the porch light. So we need to tie all these hot wires together. But we need two pigtails for the switches. Man, I'm out of red. Okay. Get these all lined up best we can. Get those stuffed in there. It's about the limit for this wire nut. I have bigger ones in I could go get in the basement. This'll do. Get it on there real tight. Yeah. Do a little tug. Stuff it in there. And then this will be a hot wire for the porch switch. And this is the switch leg for the porch. Hot wire for the three-way for the ceiling fan, but this will go to this three-way switch. I'll stuff these in there, but at the other end is this switch down here. So this wire will be the living room. That is hooked to the hot wire down here, or the switch leg. So that sounds very confusing as I'm saying it out loud. I think I do that a lot, actually. Make it sound more confusing than it needs to. But I don't know how else better to explain it. Because it's just really, it's not that hard. It's just you got to have a hot wire and you got to have a switch leg to a light. I mean, with these three ways. So, and you got to feed them at one end, or you know, I could have had the switch leg going up to the light from that switch down there, but it just ended up working out really good that it all came from right here. So. But that's probably the most complicated one, and yeah, getting close. I think I'm gonna go to the bathroom next. So, yep, let's get all this stuff tidied up. All right, so let's just be clear here that this is the line side, this is the load side. So that GFI will be protecting all of these switches, which are operating the vanity, the exhaust fan, and the light, and this outlet here, and of course itself. So this is all be GFI protected. I don't have it in there quite right. Now it's in there. Well, did some work off camera here. I got all my wires into the box. Gotta strip it all back and everything, but at least gets it out of the way. This looks way better now. Can barely walk in this room, all the wires hanging down. So, but yeah, pretty much got a majority of the boxes all ready to go. Still got to do the outside outlets. I still got to do my plank shelf outlets, but I'm waiting to have some scrap plywood or OSB for that. I'm going to get that scrap from doing the ceiling out here. I mounted all these boxes and finished running the wire. I've got to wire these sconces and outlets in, but I'm going to be doing something here kind of crazy here soon, so with that wall. So you'll have to stick around and wait and see what we do next.